If you use an iPhone or iPad and you're tired of being limited to the basic Bluetooth audio quality, this one's worth watching. Today, I'm taking a look at the Questyle QCC Dongle. I'll also explain the difference between this version and the upgraded Questyle QCC Dongle Pro. Right up front, Questyle did send this unit out for me to check out. Thanks to them for making this video possible, but as always, everything I say here is my own honest opinion. I'll be testing this QCC dongle with the Noble FoKus Amadeus True Wireless earbuds. These are audiophile grade true wireless stereo earphones that actually support higher end codecs like Aptx Adaptive and LDAC, which is perfect for testing the kind of high resolution Bluetooth audio that this dongle family promises. I will also test it with gaming consoles like the PlayStation 5 and the new Nintendo Switch 2 to see how it handles latency and audio stability in real world gaming. So just a quick clarification, the dongle I'm unboxing today is the standard Questyle QCC dongle, which comes in silver. There's also the Questyle QCC Dongle Pro, which looks almost identical but comes in a darker space gray finish. Functionally, they're nearly the same device. Both share the same compact build, Qualcomm chipset, and plug-and-play design. The main difference is that the Pro version adds LDAC codec support, which lets you stream high-resolution audio up to 990 kilobits per second. That's a big deal for audiophile grade listening. So if you plan to use headphones or earbuds that support LDAC, like the Noble FoKus Amadeus, I'd recommend getting the Pro version as it's just a bit more expensive but well worth it in my opinion. And I will leave an affiliate link down in the description that you can easily find in case you're interested in getting it. Alright, so let's get into the unboxing. Here's the front of the box and here's the back. So taking a look inside, you will find the dongle itself, which is quite small and lightweight. You also get a USB-A to USB-C adapter. And looking inside the bottom of the box, you'll find the usual paperwork. Now, the nice thing about this dongle is that when you insert it into your iPhone or iPad, it doesn't stick out very much, which is great. And you also get this nice little LED here, which gives you the status indicator. The silver finish gives it a polished high-end look, whereas the Pro's space gray has a stealthier vibe. So now let's talk about the key features about this USB Bluetooth audio transmitter. First of all, it does support Bluetooth 5.4 plus Snapdragon sound. That gives you rock solid wireless connection and ultra low latency, which is important when you're doing things like gaming on your Nintendo Switch 2, for example. As far as codec support, the regular QCC dongle covers SBC, Aptx, Aptx HD, Aptx Adaptive, including Aptx Lossless, which is part of Aptx Adaptive, while the Pro adds LDAC on top of that. It also has MFI certification, so it works seamlessly with iPhones, iPads, and Macs. And as we see here on the retail box, it does say that it was made for iPhone and iPad, which is really great if you own Apple devices such as me. Now, this sleek little Bluetooth audio transmitter has a low power draw, drawing only around 37 milliamps when in use, which means it barely affects your battery life. It's also plug and play, no drivers, no fuss, just plug it in and pair it through the Questyle app. And that works the same whether you're using it with your iPhone, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and so on. For Apple users, this is awesome because normally you're limited to AAC, which sounds good but isn't lossless. With the Pro version, you can actually step up to LDAC. Apple's Bluetooth stack doesn't give you much flexibility in terms of codecs. So if you're using higher end headphones or earbuds, like the Amadeus, you're not hearing their full potential. The dongle acts as a bridge. You just plug it into your USB-C on your iPhone or iPad, pair your wireless headphones or earbuds, and suddenly you're accessing all the top tier codecs, including LDAC if you have the Pro version. That means richer detail, less compression, and a wider soundstage for music, movies, and editing. So I'm also going to test this with the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2, both of which support USB audio adapters. The QCC dongle should pair directly with Bluetooth headphones for clean, low latency sound. So if you game in a shared space or travel, you can finally go wireless without audio lag. So that's the unboxing of the Questyle QCC dongle, the standard silver version. It's compact, simple, and instantly upgrades your device's Bluetooth experience. If you want the best possible sound though, I strongly suggest going for the Pro version. It's the same great build as this, just in space gray and with that LDAC support for that true audiophile experience. Big thanks again to Questyle for sending out this unit for review. I'll be testing it over the next few days with the Noble FoKus Amadeus and on my PS5 and Switch 2. So I'll be right back with my full results and listening impressions. If you found this video helpful so far, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which Bluetooth headphones or earbuds you'd want me to test next. Alright, so here we are with the sound impressions of the Questyle QCC dongle, and wow, I'm really impressed with the improved sound quality that I got with using the QCC dongle with the Noble Audio, FoKus, Amadeus, True Wireless Stereo IEMs. And don't get me wrong, the Amadeus already sounds amazing, but when I use the Questyle QCC dongle, it really sounded like it elevated the audio quality up to audiophile levels. So first up, let me connect it to my iPhone and show you guys how easy it was to set up. So again, you're just gonna connect it to your USB-C port, and that is gonna enable us to access the higher end audio codecs such as Aptx Adaptive and LDAC if you go with the QCC Dongle Pro. And we see here that the Noble FoKus Amadeus supports all those codecs, so it's really great to test with these. All right, so once you connect up the QCC dongle, the next thing you'll want to do is go to your app store and download the Questyle app. I already installed it, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it and show it to you now. And so right now it's not connected to anything. I've already paired the FoKus Amadeus, so I'm just gonna open up the case and it should pair automatically. And here we see that it says connected to Noble FoKus Amadeus. And for the settings, you wanna click on this little gear icon here, but before we get there, there are two icons at the bottom that I want to point your attention to. There are the device and my profile. And for the device, we just have the QCC dongle. But if you click on my profile, you can access the product manual, which is really nice. And also gives you access to more information. Now going back to the device setting, we're going to click on the gear icon momentarily, but I did want to point out one more thing here. Right here, we see the current codec being used, and it's Qualcomm Aptx Adaptive, which is one of the highest quality codecs that the standard QCC dongle can support. Now, if I were to connect up the QCC Dongle Pro, then I can access the LDAC codec. And here on this screen, it gives you all sorts of information. You can change your device name and control which audio codec you want to select. You could also select game mode if you're using them with your PS4, PS5, and Switch 2, which worked out really great when I was using it with my PS5 and my Nintendo Switch 2. That pretty much turns on the low latency mode, and it's going to prioritize a faster connection versus the audio quality, because being able to hear sounds in real time while you're gaming is super important. And the great thing is you could also upgrade the firmware on this. And right here we see a little red dot. That means that there is a firmware available. I'll just postpone the upgrade for now, but I will do it later. You can also restart to factory settings, and that's pretty much it. You see your device is connected at the bottom here. It says connected, and then you click the little information icon. If you want to ignore that device, I'll hit cancel, and you can also hit refresh to scan for more devices. And here we see the little LED blinking like it's trying to find other Bluetooth devices. It didn't find any other ones, but we see here that it reconnected to the Noble FoKus Amadeus. So I wanted to show you guys the app because one, I wanted to show you guys how simple it is to control the QCC dongle, which lets you be in control of which codec you want to use. And so if I go to audio codec, you see here the list of codecs that are available to me when connected to the FoKus Amadeus. One thing to notice is the Aptx HD is grayed out, and that's because it's not listed as a supported codec here on the FoKus Amadeus. Instead, they use Qualcomm's Aptx Adaptive, which is a better option for audiophiles because it gives you the higher sampling rates and bit rates. But if we scroll down, starting at the bottom is SBC, which is probably like the least desirable one to use. That's just the one that comes standard with like Android devices, for example. On iPhone devices, that'll be the equivalent to using AAC. And I'm just gonna tell you how things sounded with each of the codecs I tried. And of course, LDAC is missing here because the standard version of the Questyle QCC dongle does not have support for LDAC. Again, that's why I highly recommend that you guys pick up the QCC Dongle Pro. It's gonna give you access to LDAC, which is that really high quality codec that the FoKus Amadeus does support. All right, but before we even talk about using the QCC dongle on these codecs, just using the Noble FoKus Amadeus by itself, connecting directly to the iPhone using AAC codec, sounded pretty good. I would say the frequency response is pretty flat out of the box, but using the Noble FoKus app, you do have access to EQ settings. So for example, you have EQ presets for pop, jazz, and folk, and you can also do some manual EQ with the 10-band equalizer. These TWS IEMs even allows you to do a personalized EQ using the Audio Do technology, which pretty much takes measurements of both your left and right ears by prompting you to see whether you hear certain tones, kind of like doing a hearing test. And based on that, it creates a personalized audio curve. And I would say that using that probably produced the best sound out of these. But in my opinion, no matter what EQ settings you set up with this, it's not gonna sound as good as using the Questyle QCC dongle. Right off the bat, I would say even SBC sounded better. It wasn't perfect though, and I did hear some things I didn't like, you know, in the bass as well as the treble. I think the audio quality was not as good as it could be, and I'm getting ahead of myself because the first thing I did try is with the Aptx Adaptive, which sounded amazing. So I'm comparing the SBC to that, but even going up to the Qualcomm Aptx significantly increased the sound quality. I think some of the things I noticed right off the bat is, you know, guitar strings, you know, listening to the live version of Hotel California, as well as some other songs. The guitar strings just sound amazing using the QCC dongle. Other things to improve was the vocals. Right off the bat, the FoKus Amadeus is fairly flat, so the vocals sound like they're in the background. But using the QCC dongle, those vocals came forward and actually sounded very pleasant, no sign of sibilance, anything like that. And then we're starting to hear a lot more definition in the bass and sub bass. That sub bass is getting, you know, pretty deep, and then we're hearing more of that detail in the treble. And that's just one thing that just connecting the FoKus Amadeus to the iPhone, I really felt like I was missing on some of that treble. Again, because they sounded pretty flat in terms of the frequency response and just the overall sound quality. And now jumping to Qualcomm Aptx Adaptive, wow. I mean, I've always been a stickler for recommending people to use wired headphones and IEMs, but listening to the FoKus Amadeus with the Questyle QCC dongle using Aptx Adaptive sounded better than some of my wired IEMs and headphones. I mean, there's something to be said about that wireless freedom, IEMs into your ears and walk around without any wires. I get it now, guys. I really do. And now you don't have to sacrifice on audio quality. That's the main thing here, that you don't have to sacrifice anymore. So yeah, if you're serious about getting the best possible audio quality and you have a device such as an iPhone, which only gives you access to AAC codec, then yeah, definitely I'm gonna recommend that you guys go with the Questyle QCC dongle, specifically the Pro version that gives you access to that LDAC codec. So yeah, just based off on what I've heard with Aptx Adaptive, I'm gonna be definitely asking Questyle to send me the QCC Dongle Pro, because I'm already super impressed with what the QCC standard dongle can do. But yeah, just going back to what I heard with the Aptx Adaptive, you get a lot more detail out of your music. You can actually sit down and do some analytical listening while, you know, listening to your music. And I was really hearing things that I wasn't with just connecting to the Amadeus directly from my iPhone. So yeah, this is like carrying an audiophile system with me on the go. And these Amadeus really dig deep into the bass, especially that sub bass. Sound amazing with these. You could really hear like that rumble in your head. And with the QCC dongle, again, it really opens up that treble region and gives you access to all that rich detail and air. You definitely get an improvement in soundstage and imaging. So yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I recommend the QCC dongle, especially the Pro version. And it's at a decent price. And if you guys are interested in picking one up, I will leave an affiliate link down in the description. And I often see discounts on Questyle gear, so definitely click on that link and check out what the price is, because it might surprise you. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one.